you today in humility and faith. We thank you for all you have given us and the many blessings in our lives. We ask for your guidance and strength. Show us the way and fill us with courage and wisdom. Help us to remember your love and grace and to be faithful in our service to you. Give us the patience and understanding to face life's challenges with grace. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Amen. Can you do roll right away, please?
Supervisor Ledke.
Here.
Supervisor Parker.
Here.
Supervisor Milliburn.
Here.
Supervisor Olson.
Here.
Supervisor Searing.
Here.
This approval of the agenda. I see we got a garage door. Is that anywhere on the agenda? Or we add that?
I would request that we add two. One is Acre Doors quote to the agenda. And then to discuss West Martin Lake storm sewer.
And I have one too.
Okay, so first, John, where do you want to put yours? It doesn't matter any, about 9A for your doors.
Yeah, that's actually 8. I'd put them all under 8.
Put them all under 8.
8A and 8B.
So firefighter candidate?
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong guy. Hold on again.
I thought we put them on 9. That's the reuse building.
There you go. That's what I meant.
Okay. What are yours, Carol?
I'd like to add to the agenda that we schedule employee reviews in November.
Okay, where do you want it?
New business, I guess.
Right after fire department?
Sure, that'd be great.
Okay, employee reviews. Okay, anything else? Okay, then I'll entertain a motion to approve the.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Public comment, any public comment on anything? Okay, thank you. Planning and zoning. A resolution 2023-30 granting septic variance at 8330 242nd Lane Northeast.
Emily's up.
Emily's here to speak about that.
Hi, Emily. Hang on 1 second, sir. Hang on, Emily's first. Can you hear us all, Emily? You're a little quiet.
Anyone? I didn't know if that was intentional or not.
Okay, you're gonna have to talk loud for us, please.
Just drop her this link and she'll be in on the meeting.
Okay, I'm Spanish. Okay, are you talking about the resolution 2023-30? Emily?
Oh, yes.
Okay, all right, if you want to talk about that, I sure would appreciate it.
So you can't hear me better now, correct? Just want to make sure.
No, you're doing all right, I think. Well,
Can we do it like we're supposed to, please?
Okay.
She's gotta be over
Right,
this.
so we have an applicant seeking a variance or a series of variances in order to replace a non-compliant septic system. The property addressed as 8330 242nd Lane Northeast. It's a riparian parcel in the R1 district. They're looking for 3 variances in regards to so a setback from the ordinary high water line, since it is a parcel right on the lake. So there'll be a 90-foot variance from that, a 5-foot and 1 foot 7 inch variance from the 10-foot side yard setback. Excuse me. And then an 8-foot variance from the 20-foot setback from the primary structure. So due to the really restricted size of the lot and the distance from the lake, these are all necessary in order to install this new septic system in this exact location. The applicants deemed through a couple different designers, or determined through a couple different designers, that this was the only place they could put it. From a zoning standpoint, we didn't see any issues with this. The proposed septic system complied with all 3 of the criteria in order to grant a variance. And then also the planning commission approved or recommended approval of the application with the attached conditions. So that's kind of the overview, but I'm happy to answer any other questions as well.
Really want to say anything about this?
Other than planning and zoning has asked the board to accept this variance.
Okay.
They have to have a septic system.
Sure, I agree. Okay. Anything else from you, Emily? Or is that it?
Nope, that's it for me.
Okay, sir, do you have a question on this subject?
Yeah, I have a question for the board here regarding this
I can take this, can I?
Still go up to the mic.
whole issue.
Oh,
Anybody on the board here been on the board longer than 2005 or 2011?
do you have name and address record, sir?
My name,
Mike Fisher.
Okay. This is your address, probably?
Yes.
I don't think anybody's been on it that long, 2005.
Sorry?
I don't think anybody's been on the board that long since
Since
2005.
2011.
Maybe I've been on it that long. I don't know. Can't remember.
Okay, the question is, we bought the house and we knew it was non-compliant for. On the information sheet from the Realtor, it says all you needed was a holding tank. So imagine my surprise when I get a septic guy that came out, he says, he gave me a price which was. Right in line for another house we had looked at, it was not compliant. And he said, so we had to hire a septic design guy because of our proximity to the lake. Imagine a surprise when he says, this one's gonna cost $30,000. You're gonna lose some trees. Oh, by the way, you have to put a new well in also because it's too close, so we're now up to close to $50,000. Dropped around, it's way down here. Well, I asked a lot of questions around and I found that this same system had been inspected and failed in 2005. Like inspected and found non-compliant in 2011, so the question is, why the hell wasn't it brought up to code?
First of all, in 2005 and 2011, this Linwood Township did not do Lake
It's
Shore.
in your files.
Excuse me, they did not do Lake Shore. Anoka County did all the Lake Shore because we moved here in 2005 and Mr. Christensen from the county was doing it.
I got the information from your files. Oh, it's in your files.
Well, that's the truth.
And it should have been noted somewhere, when we were buying it, that, the well was an issue also. Was it Run River's responsibility? Who dropped the ball then?
If anybody dropped the ball, my question to you is, when did you buy the house?
2020.
You bought the house in 2020 and somebody told you all it needs is a holding, somebody told you all it needs is a holding tank?
Yeah, it's right in what's in the, information sheet from the realty companies.
I think the realty company kind of gave you some bad information.
Obviously.
Yeah, okay. But as far as blaming the township on this, I don't see how we can blame the township on this at all. Unless somebody else is smarter than I am, I just don't see how the township can be blamed on that.
Urban said they took over the responsibility of enforcing the codes, which obviously weren't enforced for 18 years.
Okay.
The property should have been an issue. Somebody gonna do their job.
Okay,
But an inspection was brought up. Who would have initiated an inspection on these properties in the first place?
Anoka County.
What's that?
Anoka County, the county did.
Well, their responsibility then?
It was then.
Can we speak to the parcel information in the parcel file you said you got from the township?
I've got problems.
So did we provided him information?
apparently.
Okay.
I'm not aware of that, but I think I'm not aware of anything in 2005. I do know that there is something from 2011 and regardless, the state statute says that it is the homeowner's responsibility to bring their system up to code. It's not the township's responsibility to bring that system up to code. It is the homeowner. So whoever, and there was a point of sale inspection in 2020, in November of 2020, and the seller was aware of it. From the conversations I can see you had with Rum River, you were also aware of it, that the septic was non-compliant. What it takes to replace it, again, that's a civil matter between you and the seller, if it wasn't exposed, it is not the township's job to replace the septic systems. Statute puts it on the property owners.
So you no longer enforce it either.
We are enforcing it. You got a letter to come in. And actually the time, that letter went out November 19th. As soon, we got the non-compliance report, November 18th, 2020. November 19th, the letter was sent to the homeowner. I realize the sale happened after that. Again, that would be between you and the seller. If he disclosed that information, that's between you and him. But, the township, you were allowed 2 years, or that property was allowed 2 years to bring that septic into compliance. We're now bumping up against November, 3 years.
We've got problems getting information, people not showing up. We went through the planning and zoning deal. We had a meeting with Claire. She gave us some information and then disappeared from us. Multiple phone calls, text messages, no response. Eventually Emily got involved in it, same deal, got a meeting with her, she disappeared. The pet variance was done a long time ago. Nobody told us that it was our responsibility. I called Roan River, Lori Boomquist says, oh, we dropped the ball on that.
Again, it is actually an extended time period, because it should have been replaced by November of 2022. So, yep.
Everybody helped, we got it done.
When did,
We had to go apply it for a loan because we don't have the cash to come up with $40,000. So first time they said it was too late. Second time they said they don't have the money, call you back, finally they got the money, so we got a loan. So now they're waiting, and say they want it done by November 1st, but we're not gonna get it done by November 1st. I have guys lined up just saying, when can we do it? That's what I want to bring up.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, any more discussion on this or anything else? Okay. Entertain a motion to approve resolution 2023-30.
Did you look at the recommendations from the planning and zoning?
Well, that's what I just asked their supervisor. But I did not.
They had something in there.
the conditions are on the second page of the resolution,
The second page,
of the resolution.
the shed in the northeast corner of the property must be removed prior to installation to avoid encroachment.
They have a tree that needs to be,
The oak tree on the southeast corner of the pressure bed location must be removed prior to construction per recommendations of the MPCA. Is that what you're talking?
Yeah, well, that's what they're gonna, yeah, what their conditions were on this.
they would have to fulfill these conditions to meet the variance.
Need to speak in your microphone, Carol.
What it says here is the shed in the northeast corner needs to be removed. An oak tree in the southeast corner needs to be removed. And I know somewhere in here it says there needs to be a new well.
Well, they have this paperwork, don't they? Don't they have the same thing we do?
This is a resolution. It
Okay.
hasn't been signed
Okay,
yet.
so they don't have this yet, okay.
Yeah, and this is just a resolution that we need to pass.
Okay.
Regarding the variance.
I will make a motion that we pass resolution number 2023-30, resolution granting variances to replace the non-compliant septic system at the property at 8330 242nd Lane Northeast.
I'll second that motion.
Any more discussion? Okay, all in favor of said motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Done.
Thank you.
B, ordinance 214, chapter 17, property maintenance code.
Trying to get down there.
I know, he got like 1,000 pages to get through.
I'm just trying to find my way
I
to.
think if you go down to page
There it is,
53.
214. There we go. 52,
52?
page 52.
Okay. Oh, it says 90. I was looking at this page.
No, put 92 in there and hit enter. Or, yeah,
Okay,
52 in
awesome.
there and hit enter.
There
That's
we
what
go.
it is.
Okay. Ordinance
learned it.
214.
I learned that today.
You want to talk on this, Pam?
No, Emily does.
Emily does? Okay, Emily, you want to talk about ordinance 214? Property maintenance code?
Doesn't she?
Okay,
Did she? I also read in here.
I have the information.
I'm not there yet. I don't know where it is. I'm on fire. I went too far.
53.
So just to clarify, so in the agenda, item 3C, summary publication of ordinance 214, is that in reference to the property maintenance code? So that like it's referring to that
Yes.
ordinance? Oh wait, I just see the number, sorry. So from what I remember from the planning and zoning commission meeting last week, so Pam put together a staff report recommending adoption of pretty much the whole chapter 17, I think as it was written, or kind of how she outlined it with the numbers lining up with what's currently in the ordinance. And they voted to recommend approval of everything as written. So I don't have the packet with how it shows up for you, but at least like when we were talking about it, it was the whole chapter 17.
I can add a little bit to it. They went through the property management code. Joe had one committee and Tom had another. And they each took a section and went through it. And then they, Tom Pella and Tom Pella, who? And Garrison went through and put it together. I don't know if you were involved, Andy.
This came before us and then it was sent back to the attorney for review, and the language has been modified in the such that we're not adopting the actual international property maintenance code to where we'd have to adhere to that and updates and everything. It's the language, putting it into township code under chapter 17, which will enhance the enforcements of dilapidated properties and general maintenance.
Okay.
So it'll be our Linwood's own code.
Anything else in this, Carol? Emily, you're good on this? Or you don't have much information?
Yeah, but this is good.
Okay, all right, then I'll entertain a motion. Okay, all right, then I'll entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 214.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 214.
I'll second it. Any more discussion? Okay, all in favor of said motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
opposed? Motion carries. And then resolution 223-31 summary publication of ordinance 214 is next. I need a motion for that.
I can get down to it.
Okay, what page is that one on?
98.
I'll make a motion, we pass resolution number 2023-31. Resolution approving summary language for the publication of an ordinance amending the Linwood Town Code to establish a property maintenance code.
I will second that motion.
Okay, any more discussion? All in favor of said motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. All right, Emily, we didn't hear a lot from you, but thank you very much. You too, thank you. All right, number 4, parks. Andy, did you do parks last night? John did? That's why I had to buy him flowers.
Sarah's here.
Sarah's here too? Sarah, you want to talk about parks while John?
Sarah.
Sure. Their microphone should be on, so sure.
Okay. Okay, I have a few things. The first thing that Parks is requesting is to convert the old flower garden that's at Four Seasons into a dog park. That was our first.
How big is that area?
We were talking about it last night. I don't know for sure. I drove by it on my way here, but I don't know the dimensions 100%.
So that area, it's fenced in totally, right?
Almost. There is a awkward little curve to get into it, but what we will do is make a double entry, kind of like you go into a bank or anything where you have to go into two double doors. So that's pretty standard at every dog park. So it's safe for dogs to go in and out without one getting loose. One thing that when I drove by it on the way here, that I didn't realize there's one part of the fence that is a little bit shorter, maybe like 4 feet tall, that is shorter than the other 3 sides. So that will need to get raised a little bit and have it cleared out. But a lot of people use that area as kind of like a unofficial dog park, and it's been vacant for quite some time. No one's really used it. It's kind of just empty space. And so we thought it would be a great addition to have an actual designated Linwood dog park.
So I know Melvin Pfaffendorf worked his tail off on that. I don't know if that was 100% volunteer, if that was a grant. Who would have put the fence up?
He volunteered, I think.
Even put the fence up?
I know David helped put the fence up as
Did he?
well. Yeah, he
Okay.
mentioned that. Mhm.
David, Tony, you did? Okay. So I don't know. So all I was concerned about is the normal, if there was grants, if there was something that it got paid for somehow and we couldn't do it, but I don't know. It'd be nice if the area got used, period,
Right.
instead of just letting it just turn into what it is.
Mhm.
Big is it, Bob?
I don't know. That was any idea how big that is, Tony?
70 by 100, I just measured.
70 by 100? Okay, would you figure 65 by 95? Okay, so 75 by 100, that's pretty big.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we need his name and address for the meeting minutes?
I don't know, here's the problem. I don't think this is on.
I know. They're on. Is it bad? Is it on there?
You tried it. Is it on?
Yep, now it is.
Now it is, okay. Hard to tell, my ears are bad, that's why I sit in the back. That's much better. As we know, Melvin Pfaffendorf made that, and I think that place should be named after him, in honor of him. It wasn't meant to be a dog park. People started out, there's 2 sets of flower areas in there. I don't remember the gal's name that did the other part, but that was in honor of her husband, I believe. And again, I think both of those people have passed on, so who's going to take care of it? Need somebody to take care of it, not me. I'm old and decrepit. I can't do it.
I bet Parks is gonna have a good idea on that when we go back to her.
So I think, and that gate is called a cemetery gate.
Yeah.
That's to keep the critters out.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So that's what I think.
Okay,
Right.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay,
Yeah. I mean, we are all for, I mean, we haven't come up with a name or
plan?
anything, or an official plan,
we
honestly.
gotta start somewhere. And
Right.
there's-
Yesterday, because how it first started is we were kind of thinking of what are we going to do with that space? It's been vacant for quite some time. No one's really taking care of it. And a lot of people kind of use it as an official dog park. I've seen that before on the township log or just driving by. And so I said, well, why not maybe make it a dog park, an official dog park? So I spoke with Karen Blaska, I think that's how you say her last name, who works for Anoka County, who we coordinate with, just to see if there's any official laws or rules, regulations that Anoka County itself has to follow or that we would have to follow. And she said there's no official laws that we have to follow as long as we come up with our own rules and regulations, and people have to, as much as we can abide by it, just like any other dog park in any other county. So that's kind of where we were at yesterday, and then I brought that to the board meeting yesterday. And then we motioned to bring it to you guys to see if that is something that we can do.
Is there any liability on the township part?
There wouldn't be, at least that's what she said, but I don't know.
Okay, John, any issues?
With that, no.
Mike?
I guess I'd rather make sure that the attorney looks at it and says if we can or can't. I just want to verify that, make sure we don't have any kind of liabilities floating out there.
Okay.
Just want to make sure that the attorney gets a chance to look at this before we make the determination, just to ensure that there's no liability that may
Okay.
fall into, just to protect the township.
Mhm.
Andy?
No, I think it's a great idea. So
Okay.
along with that, that can be part of
Okay,
the plan to move forward, giving them the go. So it's a good idea and go forward with it.
we need it. I'll make a motion to allow the park department to move forward with a plan to build a dog park over in Four Seasons Park.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? There you go, get rolling.
Perfect. Thank you. The second thing is that we would like to hire a part-time all year round park attendant for about 20 hours a week. We have that kind of already included in our budget for 2024. A person would flood the rinks, remove snow, mow in the summer, and do other park maintenance that is dedicated to our parks. So I know our maintenance crew did, they do a great job with everything that they do, but if we are able to have someone designated to our parks, that would be something that we want to do. So we were going to present that as well.
So 20 hours a week. I don't know, let's just say, I'm gonna ask the money table. 20 hours a week for a person making $19 an hour. What does that come out to a year? Throw in all your, this, well,
40. It's almost 40.
I'm thinking 40,
Mhm. No,
about $40,000.
not loaded.
And that's, because I'm just throwing a ballpark out because I want the park board to know that if we hire somebody at $19 an hour, here's what it costs at $20 or $19 an hour, 20 hours a week with everything.
I don't think we can even consider this until we start doing budgets.
Well, if it's in their budget for 24,
Well, it doesn't mean our budget will be accepted. We haven't done budgets for, it's for
it's already done.
24.
Yeah.
We have done budgets for 24.
It's already been approved.
So I don't know. Is that what it is, Alyssa? About 40 grand?
I'm trying to find, I
No.
don't have that on me. I don't have
You said
2024 budgets with me.
20 hours for
20
20 hours a week.
one person. Yeah.
Mhm.
For one person. Let's figure $20 an hour, make it super easy.
His math is more spot on.
Is it? Okay,
It's not a
20
full-
times 20.
Well, he was at,
he was at 19,000,
2,080 hours.
No, it's
Half of
halftime.
that, yeah.
12,000 hours. That Tom's pretty smart, yeah. Okay. Okay, would we be interested in doing that?
Do we really know? Is there a job description?
They haven't even got that far yet.
No, that we haven't gotten
Okay.
that far yet, but I know there is a lot of things that could have been done in our parks that unfortunately, weren't able to be done just because of, I know with the maintenance just earlier this year where they were down a person. Thankfully, with the mowing, no one had to mow as much because it rained, but then there's a lot of things that we have on our list that would be nice to have a designated person. So things don't go amiss.
So my question for our office staff, if we hire somebody from January 1 to December 31 to do ice rink attendant and cutting grass, what do they do in March, April, and May? And then what do they do in November and December? Do they sit home and collect unemployment? Because if we come up with a person to work in the parks
Mhm.
and you're not doing anything in the hockey rink or anything cutting grass for March, April, May, are we paying them unemployment?
What do we have them doing?
That's my question, because if the job description comes out and this is what they do, what do you do when they're not doing this? Do they sit home and you pay them unemployment? That's my question. I think it's a great idea, and I know Parks has tried to do this for probably the last 10 years. And I don't think we should we should go away from it, but what do you do in the 5 months they're not doing grass cutting?
I think that was what came up a couple weeks ago when it was a split, proposed as a split decision.
Yep, and the next day
Yeah, we got hired,
recycling
so-
hired a person.
Right.
I think it's a great idea because to the point of the checklist or whatever, getting those tasks done
Right.
would be somebody that could maintain that. So I think it's just moving forward, trying to figure out those next steps of a job description or what the roles would be, because there's other areas that they could probably supplement. I mean, we have another part-time employee that supplements stuff around, so we could probably make something to where the parks are being maintained, which would free up the stress maintenance people have already.
Let's start with a job description.
Mhm.
Try to get it fairly soon. I mean,
Right.
I ain't gonna push you. We've got a meeting in 3 weeks. If you just brought us a job description, we can at
Yep.
least start with that and.
Mhm.
Cause I know there's not gonna be a lot of flooding. I mean, we always try to get ice early in the season, but. Usually first of the year, we'll see, but
Right.
guess we start with that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We could definitely find something for them to do a lot. We've got plenty of stuff in the parks that can be done.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, I like your two. I like the first two.
And the next two things kind of go together. So we have some upcoming expenses for light repairs at Broadbent and at the hockey rink for the big, huge over lights. We're gonna explore the idea of doing or getting additional quotes, one from Connexus rebates, because right now we have the quote for just Broadbent from Forest Lake Contracting, and it's about $4,425 for those lights. But I know though the lighting is gonna come out of our operating budget, but we also have other stuff that's coming out of there as well, such as we're gonna get mulch for Betcher to go around the slide. That's coming out of it. And then the leftover mulch is gonna go to Playful Shadows. But that park, since it's so low, we're gonna need more. We just don't know how much more yet until we get that overflow from Betcher to go over to Playful Shadows. So we are recommending that our extra 2023 operating dollars be rolled over into 2024 for any of that extra mulch that we'll need for Playful Shadows. The lights and light repair and replacement in early 2024. And then the tennis courts need to be repaired as well.
Could lights be a capital? I mean, because between them lights and them lights, you're over 10 grand easily. I bet they're closer to 12. Could that be capital?
It can be capital, it can't be park dedication. It's
Yeah.
just maintenance. It's just maintenance is all it is.
Yeah, it can't be park dedication.
It was Rick, the gentleman that came in did state that the woodpeckers are having a heyday with the poles out at Broadbent too, so that we need to budget in the future to be replacing them poles as well.
And who here can remember how much the one pole cost that they burned down? For some reason, I thought that was like $7,000 for one pole.
Yeah.
So, and there's how many poles out there? Is there 6 poles out there?
No. Across the street?
Yep,
There's 3.
there's only 3? There's 4. Okay, so we're set. We got,
Be over here.
okay,
Is the one being blocked by
Mhm.
it's null and void now with the building up.
Yep. Okay. So you're gonna chase more quotes for those lights and these lights?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Foresight Contracting does a lot of work for us. So does, I can't remember now. But yeah, chase as many as you can.
Mm-hmm.
And then I like the Connexus idea because to see if there's rebates.
Yep.
On if you go different lighting or something.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Yeah.
Go to LED, it'll save us in the long run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we're thinking.
Yep.
Yep.
The rebates come in.
Okay.
Yep.
But this is based on rolling that operating over.
Yeah. To
because of the end-
2024.
Because the end of the year, because it's
Mm-hmm.
last night, they're saying just not being able to get the, if the mulch doesn't happen, or obviously the tennis courts, you don't want to repair them now to have the thaw cycle affect them again.
Right. Yeah. With the tennis courts, I know we're throwing around the idea of most likely repairing a big chunk of it. Because from whoever, I think it was Carrie that spoke with someone just recently, they said that whatever we're doing with just kind of patching it isn't gonna fix it. We're most likely gonna have to get a bigger patch.
Yeah. It's a
So-
Band-Aid. Okay,
And it's used so much, we don't wanna just keep putting Band-Aids over it.
well, to roll that over, that's probably not gonna happen. To roll that into next year's. Cause when there's extra money in road and bridge, planning and zoning, parks, senior, that helps with next year's money for the whole township. That's why,
But to his plan earlier, if we have a planned project with something and did it with a resolution, you know, maybe that'd be the approach, is that all these departments that, whether they have a plan, you know, for sure they have to have a plan. It's not just roll over.
Mhm.
But if there's a planned project that we can't accomplish due to Mother Nature and timing, and we have a plan for the money, we could
I know we did this
we
once.
could say
for-
all, you know,
for
a
the
resolution for this department, this amount, you know, if each department came forward with the amount and the project plan. I mean, that to me makes sense. Why would we not fix poles that are gonna
We're
fall
not
over from
saying that. We're not saying
woodpeckers?
that. What I'm saying is that when we have a $2.1 million budget and our levy's 1.7, where are you coming up with $600,000 if we don't roll things in next year's?
Hmm.
That's what I'm saying. And it's been brought up in numerous annual meetings on where's all the money go? Well, it helps fill that $600,000 void. So can it be done? It can always be done, because I know we did it for Sunrise one year. Because we were gonna get blasted by Sunrise. It was gonna be like a $50,000 year, and I know it wasn't. What are you talking, like $30,000, aren't you?
Yeah, it's 33,812.
That's a lot. Sunrise, I think all we moved over was like 3,000 a year or something, but I don't know. It can be done, yes.
Yes,
Anything can be done.
I would not make a commitment to anything.
Yeah, no,
I mean, you can't make a commitment right now. Well, you could.
No.
You could do anything you want, but
that's what helps next year.
that's what you base your budgets on, or what are the expenses going to be? So
Okay, that's what I thought. It's a board decision.
Let's have a
100%.
budget meeting first.
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
please.
we have a budget meeting Thursday.
Thursday.
Yes.
Thursday. We have a budget
Okay.
meeting first. Okay,
Perfect.
okay, I'm not pushing that one off the edge yet, but
Okay.
okay, what else is on your mind?
That is all.
Okay, I'm sorry I missed your meeting. I was up north.
That's okay. Thank you.
Thank you, John, for filling in. Thank me for missing the meeting.
No,
Oh.
thank you for
Oh.
this. Yeah, thanks for not being there yesterday.
Okay. John's always the nice guy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sarah.
Yeah.
All right, old business property.
Excuse me a minute. Andy, people are having trouble hearing you.
Hearing me? All
Oh,
right.
could you turn yourself up, please?
Okay. Now can we go old business property assessment contract? What page? Let's see. Oh, that's what I'm at. Okay, no, this was joint powers agreement between Anoka for assessment and Linwood Township. And we tabled this last time.
it was tabled a few meetings ago. And then you had this work session with the assessors. And there was some discussion there about the contract and how it works. If you recall, the other company, the rates were very, very similar. And as it was explained, they don't do all of it, where Anoka County has to do all of it, not just going out and visiting the sites, but all the statutory parts. And then it was asked that Anoka County send their assessment agreement, and that's what this is.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we accept Anoka County's assessment agreement.
Okay, motion's been made to accept the joint powers agreement with Linwood Township and Anoka County.
I'll second.
Any more discussion after the second? Okay, all in favor of said motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Sorry, was someone opposed?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
No, we're all there.
6, recycle brush chipping and stump removal quotes. I think John did his magic again.
Sarah or Alyssa did.
Alyssa did that. That's we have one quote for $6,800. We have another one for $3,750. Chip brush pile, leave chips on site, grind approximately 5 stumps, no stump chip cleanup or removal included in the quote. Clean up wood and brush from trees. For new building, grind stumps, remove next. Yeah, so they're the exact same contracts or the exact same proposals. I just wanted to make sure one wasn't different than the other. Yes, John, any thoughts? Any recommendations?
Well, the Reliable Tree Service, they were out yesterday. I met with them. They've got different equipment, which is part of the reason why the cost is cheaper, but where the first bid is going to take 2 days to process that brush pile. Reliable Tree Service has a huge chipper. They said that they'll be in and out in 3 hours for $2,000 less. So I think the cost difference is kind of coming in with their labor.
Okay.
And I think I'm a little more impressed with them being in and out of there in 3 hours than 16 hours. The grinding of the stumps, they'll take that big stump, cut it off, and then grind all those down even. And now, in all fairness, the first quote for 2,000 was to also remove those trees, the trunks. And so we never did get just a stump grinding bid on the first one, but $750 seemed pretty cheap. And they said that they would probably have it done on Monday. All of this.
6 days from now,
Mhm.
Monday? Okay.
Yeah, they figured they'd be in on Monday, in and out on Monday.
So your recommendation is what?
Yeah, I would make a recommendation. I would make a motion that we move forward and hire Reliable Tree Service to do the chip brush pile for 3,000 and then grind the stumps for $750.
I'll second it.
Been moved and second. Any more discussion? Okay, all in favor of motion to have Reliable Tree Service do the stump grinding for $3,750? Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Again, John or Alyssa, whoever did it, thank you very much for that. Well issues, number 7.
Take it.
Well issues.
So we were informed by Cramer Mechanical of fine sand coming up through the well. I contacted E.H. Renner, who basically put the well in over there, and talked to Catherine over there. She says their first step would be to go out there and run a flow on that and test the water coming out of it. They have a trip charge, 6 hours. There'll be 6 hours for service tech and a helper. And it could take up to 6 hours with this truck to sit there and run this test on the water up there. So it came out to $2,700 for their estimate. Then I called McCullough and I talked to them, and Brian came out. I met with him on the 18th. He come out, he looked over the equipment. He didn't charge us to do it. He was doing some work out at EJ, so he stopped over here on his way back by. And he says, first thing I do is I'd flush the well. And I thought, well, that's kind of what Renner wants to do and wants $2,700 for it. So what we've kind of decided we're going to do, just to see where we're at with it, the fire department tomorrow night will run that pump for about 5 hours, 5 to 6 hours. They're going to take a water sample when they first start flowing it. 2.5 hours later, they're going to take another water sample. And then 2.5 hours later, they're going to take another water sample. Use a mason jar with lids on them, get the water in them, seal them up, put them on a shelf. We'll see how much less sediment there is per each one. That should tell us if it is flushing out the sand from it and cleaning it out. So that should tell us if it's going down. If it is, it'll just have to be something they'll have to do regularly just to flush that water, because they don't use the water enough. And I'm sure it picks up sediment inside there, so that'll tell us. And if it doesn't resolve the issue, we will be looking at probably putting a filter in that system over there to keep the sand out of it. But we're looking at right now, like I said, the next step will be for the fire department tomorrow night. They will start at about 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock, they're going to start the pump test tomorrow, or the well flush on that tomorrow. They'll pump it out the back and it'll go out there into the holding pond. So Like I said, they're gonna take the first test in the beginning, one in the middle and one in the end, and we'll give the thing a little while to give it a day and let the stuff settle to the bottom of the jars, and we'll see just what we have inside there. And if we get now, the one thing is they use the pump for water ball or something here about a month or so ago, so we're probably not gonna get as much as we normally would get out of it when it sits sedimentary for a long time. But we still should see a difference. It should go down from each one of those tests. It should still go down. So they're gonna run the test tomorrow. We'll see where we're at. Should be able to come back next meeting and tell you what we find out.
What are you gonna spend? $300 doing that?
Maybe $100.
Well, 5 hours, 2 firefighters,
Yeah.
so 10 hours.
Well, no. It's just for 4 o'clock because they have a drill tomorrow night.
Oh, okay,
So I'm saying maybe $100,
Okay, good.
maybe 150 at the most, versus 2,700 to have somebody else come out and do the same thing that we could do ourselves.
okay, so we don't want anything to do with the EH Renner and Sons.
I'd say no, just let's let the fire department run the test. And we'll see, find the results at the end.
Good,
Good idea.
wonderful, thank you for doing that. Okay, 8 firefighter candidates. Want to talk that one too, or bring the chief up for
I'm
that?
bringing the chief up. He's got grip on this.
Thank you. So the fire department's recruit efforts have been in full swing since early this summer and have yielded a healthy crop of potential candidates looking to serve our community in times of need. All the candidates have successfully completed the candidate physical agility test, the CPAT, the first round interview with the department's hiring committee, and second round interview with the chiefs. The next step is in the process is to extend a conditional offer of employment to allow for the required background checks, medical exams. Pending the outcome of the above mentioned requirements, the final interview with the fire chiefs, the candidates will be brought before the town board again for approval to extend a final offer of employment. So at this time, I'd like to get the town board approval for a conditional offer to Brandon Anderson, Jess Anderson, Andrew Denny, and Austin Seeley.
Making motion, we give them a conditional offer.
Second,
Okay, been moved and seconded. Are we doing that, almost that contract you guys brought up months ago, that if I offer this to Daryl Bauman and you say, sure, I'll do it. If I drop out within 2 years, I pay, you're not
The
doing that?
board, no, the board didn't approve it.
10-4. Okay, any more discussion? All right, all in favor of said motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No, motion carries. Okay,
Any questions? That's all I have.
that's it. That's 4 people. That's pretty good.
Yes, it is. Very qualified candidates too. We're
Good.
excited.
Awesome.
So, and as you're all invited November 2nd to the Anoka County Fire Training Academy. We have 2 cadets that'll be graduating. So any visibility from the town board would be much appreciated. So keep that in mind. Support your fire department.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Anything else for chief? Questions, anything? Okay, thank you, sir. Carol, you had 8A.
yes, we need to do employee reviews and you each have a calendar in front of you. We usually do them in November. And I'm,
Take 2 nights or 3? How many employees you have now?
I have no idea.
How many employees do we have now? I'm just wondering, is it 2 nights or 3 nights?
Actually, I think we did 2, didn't we? We did 2 last year.
So you could still do it in 2? Okay,
Can we still do it until though?
are you around in that first full week or are you deer hunting?
I'm deer hunting 3rd, 4th, and 5th,
Oh, okay,
but the week of the 6th,
unless you went,
And I'm totally out the weekend before Thanksgiving.
so you want to
Just-
do 8 and 9?
Can we just do a doodle poll like we did? And just send that out?
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what
We
you're
s-
talking about.
We sent out the availability stuff just with our calendars, so we're not going for.
So everybody just kind of picks a time they can do it?
Yeah,
well, I don't know, because the 10th is the Marine Corps birthday, so that may be different.
We are not doing it on the 10th.
Okay,
Weren't you in the Navy? I'm just wondering.
Well, I was, but the chief there is a Marine and I'll honor him.
You're honoring him. Okay, all right, then send out Doodle Bop or Doodle whoever. I don't know how you do it.
Talking about.
Oh, I don't know. Andy said, can we do a doodle bug or something like we did last time?
To us, I guess, the pick dates where they don't want to do it. Andy doesn't want to do it right now.
Or do it 8 and 9?
Well, we
like
just
that.
go back and forth with everyone's calendars and we can do it cleaner looking on the computer and seeing what we each have.
Well, I'm good 8 and 9.
Wouldn't be decided tonight. It would
No, I'm
be
not.
depending on,
The
like,
9th is my
when to
birthday.
meet To figure out the availability of everybody for the board
I'm good 17th.
on which nights.
7th Road Bridge.
Mhm.
Okay, so you'll send that out?
I will send it out, but you need to respond.
No.
You
I
need to
do.
respond.
Is she looking at me?
He is.
It might have been,
I'm just saying.
I always come in and say, whatever day you tell me, just tell me when to be here.
no, you need to respond.
All right.
Okay.
So that's coming out. So basically reviews in November.
Yep,
So we're settling on 2 days, not 3.
2 days.
And there's how many?
That's 5 or 6 people a night.
Yep.
That's a long
That's a
night.
lot. Yeah, we should.
Okay, give it 3 dates in.
Because you're gonna have to
I'll
work
have
with the
give you, like,
employees
4
for,
dates.
I would say we're probably even with the holidays because we got the holiday week of Veterans Week and Thanksgiving that we're probably, even if we're in the first week of December, I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm new, I don't know that affects
It's November.
Yeah.
Our handbook says November.
our handbook.
We should be able to get done between the 6th and the 17th. I
So
mean, there's 2 weeks right there. We can pick up days to do that between the 6th and
You only have
17th.
5 days though, between the 6th and the 17th that you can do it. You only got 5 days and one of them's your birthday.
You got
send out
6th,
the
7th,
poll
8th,
and we'll
13th,
figure it out.
14th. Well, you got 14th, the 13th, 15th, 16th.
Well, if we can't all be here, we can't all be here.
True.
We
You're
were
right.
all here for
You're right.
all of them last time, so.
Okay,
But yeah, okay, we'll try to get 3. Let's try to get 3 dates in.
there you go. Okay, good.
Hmm.
I'll have my secretary help me. Okay, and that's it. Employee reviews, nothing. Okay, reuse building electrical quotes.
That's big.
so this one is from Kaylee Electric, and I know we try to get as many quotes as we can. I've got 2 electric companies that I got a hold of. And I never got even an interest in providing an estimate. One of them that was out of Stacy said that they would have me a quote by the middle of last week. They never did. They said they would have it to me by last Friday. They never did. So right now, out of 4 companies that I've reached out to, only one has actually provided us a bid. Our original estimate last June was like 38,000, I think it was, for electric. And this quote, this revised quote came in at 28,200.
Nice.
And so this is going to be to do all the electrical, is to run the service. In talking to the electrician, it sounds like they can pull, instead of pulling a service line off the power pole where the transformer is, he can pull it off from the circuit breaker box in the silver building.
Oh.
So it'll be a shorter service run in to a circuit breaker panel inside. So that'll help us out there. But this price includes the running the service in from the other electric box, and then doing the rough ins and doing the finals. And so that would take care of all of our electric issues. But I would have brought this 2 weeks ago to get the rough ins done, but I kept trying to get these bids.
Yeah.
Couldn't get anybody else to respond. So that's why I didn't bring this one last meeting. So now we're down to, I mean, one bid. Half the problem is that everybody's trying to get all these projects done before everything freezes up.
Yeah.
And so trying to get contractors is very difficult.
So just explain to me where, I'm not an electrician, explain to me here where it says that he's running the service. Is that what the 200 amp bypass meter with emergency disconnect?
It doesn't say the terminology, but like I said, in here, it would have to be the 200 amp.
I just don't want any surprises that that he comes in and says, I never said I was running the service.
Yeah, there's no surprise to this. Like I said, we had a thorough, detailed discussion about it.
Okay.
In fact, he's providing the circuit breaker that goes in the silver building and the service line coming in.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
All right,
I make a motion, we go with the Kaylee Electric at the amount of $28,200 for the wiring of the new reuse building.
okay,
And we have this money, right?
yep.
Ask our treasurer.
Yes, we have it.
Okay.
Is this one of those yes and no's?
Is this a,
The look on your face, tell me this is a yes and no
we
answer.
have the money? Yes, we do, but do we have the money appropriately?
Parks does, yes. Recycling, we need to work on a secondary grant because we're getting up there. Because we had the 62,250 for our initial, we had a 25 extended capital, and we have 20 in our operating. Putting this through, what did I say, puts us over ours about 8,000. So now we need to move forward with getting more grants in order to cover the rest of this. Which there is one, but it's a matching grant from the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency, which I am hoping that we can get permission to apply for. It is a 25% matching, 50,000 is the minimum. I think it was 200,000 was the maximum. But the matching portion can be goods and services. So it doesn't have to be monetary. So
Okay.
I was gonna bring that up in treasurer comments, but
Carol did not get her question answered. You know, I see it in her eyes.
Well, she didn't, and when she gave that look and said yes, I knew that was a yes and no an answer. I mean, just the look on her face told me that.
Well, you know, I'm concerned that we keep spending money. We're gonna have a budget meeting on Thursday. And I just am so uncomfortable with the fact that some of our budgets are so skinny. And yes, we keep taking money and we keep taking money. But you know, if this was your budget or my budget, we wouldn't be spending it just like that. I mean,
Is the electrical in the first part of the building?
not in the first phase. No, this is where I'm moving on to the secondary
Okay.
phases.
So we're getting ahead of the game?
can we wait?
The
It's not gonna
problem
get
with-
cheaper.
Yeah, this is, the most expensive part is the rough ends. Which if you don't put it in behind the walls before the walls get put up or closed in, you have to run everything on the outside through conduit, and then it even gets more expensive.
Well, I understand that, but
So I guess my question is kind of down Carol's line. We do have the money someplace in the budget, someplace, we have the money to pay this.
Correct.
So we put in for the grant, we get the grant, we replace the money we took out of where we took it from.
Correct. The account would be negative. The general fund carries the negative balances. When we got the fire truck, when we paid for the roads, I mean, them account balances were negative and it had to be carried. Yes, the money is there. It's just gonna be a little bit of overlap per grant.
Okay, so
what if we don't?
we
get
aren't
the grant?
broke, right? We aren't broke. We have operating money, all our money's still there. This
Correct.
is money that's already basically earmarked for this, but we need to get a little bit more money to, so we're robbing Peter to pay Paul for a short time.
What if we don't get the grant?
If we don't get the grant, we do have, I think it was $10,000 put away for recycling capital 2024. And that would cover the $8,000 overage for the approving the electric today.
Okay, I just think we need to be more careful than we're being.
I think we're okay. I'll hold by my motion to hire Keely at the amount of 28.2.
Was there a second? I don't have a second either. We kind of jumped into discussion without a second. Okay. So we have emotions on the table to hire Kaylee Electric at $28,200. Can I have a second?
Then I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor of said motion signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed?
I oppose it.
Okay, 4-1, motion carries. Okay, reuse building, A, 9A. Doors. That garage doors?
Yes,
9A?
it's garage doors.
Okay,
So in our original quote that we had gotten from Walters Buildings, it included a quote for acre doors. But this is just getting a quote for us on behalf from Walters on behalf of us. So this is the 3 doors. These are the 3 overhead doors. And I know, although it doesn't say it includes the installation, it does. I have verified that it does. So this is a total cost for those 3 doors installed. If they're way behind. So if we order the doors now, we would have them by the end of November. They are out into January for installation.
I believe that.
So if we choose to go with Acre Doors, what we would do is we would get the doors. I've installed many large garage doors. So what we would do is we would set the garage door panels and fasten them to the door jamb and hold them in place.
So basically, you're closing up the building. The garage doors can't be used.
Right.
You're closing up the building.
Correct. Yep. So that way we can heat the areas, they're usable. And then what'll happen is when we get to the install date that we've got, that we will have scheduled, then they'll come out and do the actual installation of the track system and all of that. By doing it this way also, it allows some flexibility. They're real close by. So if they have a cancellation with something or a few hours here and there, they can come in, do a door here or there, or the whole thing.
So this 6218 is already part of the Walters.
This was also included in the numbers that
Okay.
Alyssa went through.
Okay.
Yeah, what we went through and Alyssa had gone through yesterday and kind of did some rough numbers on these things, on all of these costs, and that's where that $8,000 came from. It includes these things.
You shook your
Correct.
head.
I don't think Acre Doors is in there because I only have ones that are in there that are approved.
I didn't bring the sheet with. You'd know more than I would. And, you know,
Have it with me.
we can hold off on this. It just means that we're not going to close that building up for the warming house. If we wait, well, we got 3 more weeks before our next board meeting. So if we table
Wait
this,
3 weeks, you're not gonna get them garage doors till the 1st of January.
correct, they won't come in until the end
And
of
then you're gonna end
December.
up boarding up that building.
Just saying it's an option. We could sheet it.
You could sheet the openings.
No, I haven't.
Yeah. And then you're paying people to sheet the openings, you're paying people to not sheet the openings, then you're paying the extra money. So this is not part of the Walters original.
Is this,
No.
is any of this being paid for by Parks?
2 of the doors are being paid for by Parks.
If they're in the
Parks.
parks section.
That's
Parks
actually a really
pays for
good
that.
question, because that $8,000 overage was just for the grant part of it. It's just for the reuse part.
Correct.
So,
That we're not over on parks.
right, so one of the 10 by 10 doors would be part of the overage. At 8,000, it would be on top of the 8,000. So that's, I don't know what that is.
The rest
Is it
of it will come
$1,200?
out of the Budget and they have the money.
Yes, that
Yes.
is that is the park dedication money, correct?
It's
Yes.
kind of confusing. So if you look at the numbers, when we first started and I had a budget number, my allocations were off from how Alyssa has the allocation. So I had it to where right now we're, let's say $30,000 under budget. What it is that the park section did not use as much of the part that we thought was going to be allocated. As I recall, it was 66,000 that we thought was going to be used out of parks. And I think we're at 49. 49 used, I think, or somewhere's around there. So we're well under on the park side, but we're getting hit on the
Okay,
reuse side.
but a good deal of the $6,000 is coming out of
Parks.
Parks. Okay,
Yes.
and that makes a difference.
Yeah. Thank you for asking that.
Okay,
So did you make a motion or something?
There's still discussion. I'll make a motion to move forward with purchasing the doors with installation from Acre Doors for the cost of $6,218.
hey, can I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, any more discussion? Tony, got something to say? Okay. Yes, sir.
Use this microphone, seems like. Everybody likes it,
Okay,
and I can sit down. Are you gonna cover those windows with anything?
yeah, for sure on the south side or on that side for sure.
Otherwise, you're gonna have a hockey puck through.
Yeah.
And I don't know where the guard went on Public Works building, but that's gone. You need to protect that.
Note taken.
Zip.
Okay, any more discussion?
Thanks, Tony.
Okay, all in favor of spending 6218, signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Order the garage doors.
Thank you.
This is an ugly one.
9B. So this one, I just wanted to go over this with the board. This is the sewer pipe that we have the issue with on West Martin Lake Drive. So there's like 5 or 6 catch basins that feed into this one sewer pipe that then goes through our easement down to Martin Lake.
That's the one that it was.
Yeah, it's got a tree growing out of the end of it.
Okay.
Somebody had done some rock work along the shore and the edge of the rock is above the top of the pipe. So it holds back all the sediment. And then it's gone back into the pipe and then started growing a root system in there. So right now, if we have heavy rains, there's a resident that is right next to one of the catch basins where his garage floods. This has been a problem. Fortunately, we haven't had a lot of rain this summer. But we do have an issue with our water flow there. So what I did was I talked to Shermick Farms. I went out there, met with them, and we looked at the situation, and what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to walk a little excavator down to the shoreline in order to be able to pull that root system out, clean up that edge, move the rocks around, and then get some filter fabric in there with some riprap so that it flows into the lake properly. I've cleared this with the Sunrise Watershed representative from Anoka County. And then at the same time, we would flush out that system. So that way we get appropriate water flow out of there. So in talking to him, he wanted to know, we discussed a fixed bid versus time and material. There's a lot of unknowns out there. And so my concern was if we did a fixed bid, obviously a contractor's got to add enough in over the top to cover those unknowns. So I think from a township standpoint, I think we would be better off doing time and material. So we pay for the hours that are worked to do the job. So that's the quote that I got from him for the board to discuss. If we're going to move forward and have it fixed this year, we probably have to make some moves before that starts freezing up over there.
They get killed in the spring.
So, but the total bid on this one, the total estimate, I should say, it wasn't a bid, it's an estimate. Just figuring, he was figuring the number of hours that he would have into it. What he's expecting would come out to be $6,320. So again, it's, I wanted to bring it up for the board to discuss as to, do we want to move forward on this? Do we want to try to wait until next year?
So if anybody remembers a year and a half ago on a Sunday when I had to call a vac truck because I had a house down, down by the park, by the Anoka County Park there. I had a house because one of our culverts was plugged, frozen solid, plugged, and the water was just running right into their house. Well, I had to make an emergency call on a Sunday that said, vac this water out of here or else we're going to be buying somebody a new house. That'll happen here again. This is the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going in their garage now. And this is a horrible 6320 because we can't, this is just something nobody on the planet ever thought you would ever see. But I've seen what water does to people's houses in the spring when we have issues like this. And if you got 5 catch basins going into one that's plugged.
Yeah.
Where's the water going?
In that guy's garage.
Yeah. So this is an ugly one.
When somebody put up the rock along the shore, did they help cause this problem?
Yeah, but there was no way of knowing who put the rock in apparently. I actually had Jamie from the Sunrise Watershed come out, meet me out there and look at it and stuff. And he didn't, obviously it goes both ways down the shore. But it's not like you can actually put a finger on who caused it. But yes, it is part of the problem, but it is not the only problem.
Are we gonna do something with that problem too?
Yes, by moving the rocks out and down. Jamie suggested we take the big boulders because they're very large and push them out into the water just a little bit, and that'll lower them. And then that'll get the top of that rock lower than the bottom of the pipe. And then with the riprap and everything, then it'll slow the water down before it actually enters Martin Lake.
Is Anoka County Conservation going to be part of this little project to approve what's going on?
Mhm. I guess I could get official approval. He's the one that sent me the specs on the riprap and the filter fabric and those kind of things. But yeah, we can do a sign off with Jamie, I guess.
Yeah, I think it'd be pretty valuable to have him at least, you know what, when they say they're done, Jamie comes and looks at it. And he does everything for us on the watershed side.
Clean.
Yes, yes, you're right. So
Doesn't sound like we have a choice.
yeah, that's the problem with these. This one,
Pay
you
a
know.
dollar, pay it later.
I guess that's my question. What's the proactive approach? Do we have culvert inventory, or how historically is this always just come
We-
up after, or how?
So we did, what, 3 years ago now? I'm thinking of when they washed out the hydro seeding vehicle in one of our freshly cleaned. I mean, I bet we spent 15,000 in one summer because they were all neglected so bad for the last 20 years. And we kind of got ahead of it. And I know our maintenance guy, I know he set up a report for culverts. That was part of our, so I know that's happening. This one here, I mean, they just found this one again, and it's our own neglect.
Yeah, it just sounds like having a tree and roots and all that.
Yep.
And so,
Mhm.
and if this one in particular, I know, because it just had that house built, and that one had, again, in terms of our enforcement and on stuff, that had a lot of sediment pouring into those. And I think we need to put stuff back on the contractors, so it isn't on the township, because there was no,
Who did catch that? Was that driveway inspector caught that? Because they had no,
erosion control
Erosion.
anywhere.
No.
There's still not.
I thought I went by and there was silt fence months ago.
The erosion logs just keep getting deteriorated all over, but there was sediment on the road, and it goes into all those catch basins at the bottom. And then we're paying to clean it out instead of contractor putting the stuff in place.
So
to
that's
begin
kind
with.
of the responsibility of, I'm not pointing fingers at everybody, but it's kind of everybody's responsibility. You see something like that. I know it's our maintenance guys. You drive by that road, you see something. I know we've seen it. We've all seen it, but I think if you see something like that, you gotta say something like that. But yeah, that's a.
And that's
erosion's a
also the
weird thing.
system that we have that sinkhole problem with.
Sinkhole, same spot.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay. All right, do we have a motion on the table or no?
There's no motion on the table. I wanted to bring it up to everybody, but again, this is time and material, so this is just an estimate. It's not a quote.
Yeah. All right, any more discussion?
You wanna make a
Motion.
motion?
I'll make a motion that we hire Shermick Tree Farm to move forward with repairing the storm sewer on West Martin Lake Drive.
For 6320?
Again, you know, that's an estimate. I don't know if you can actually say that in the motion because it could be above or it could be below.
Okay. Up to? Want to go an up to number and just tell Shermack, this is what I got to spend up to.
Yeah, I
something,
mean, that's fine too. Yeah,
not to exceed.
yeah, we can not to exceed 6,500.
Okay. Okay, can I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, any more discussion? All right, all in favor of Shermack Tree Farms not to exceed $6,500, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Is that it? That was A and B.
That's it.
Number 10, reduction of letter of credit. Pam, you want that one?
So Becker Farms Estates is a development over on Torres Street and Fawn Lake Drive. And that was done, it was completed in 2023. And they had to put down a letter of credit until all of the improvements were done. And the improvements, since there wasn't a road involved, the improvements really were grading and septic areas and that type of thing. And so Sherco is the name of the company that is the developer, and they put up the letter of credit. And according to our developers agreement, once the engineer is satisfied and the board is satisfied with the improvements that they've made, they can request that 75% of their letter of credit gets released at the bank. This is not any money that the township holds. It's just a letter of credit at the bank. So Sherco is requesting that they're able to reduce the letter of credit. And as I said, the township can go up to 75%. The 25% gets retained through the warranty period. So if the board says, yes, we're satisfied, the engineer is satisfied with the improvements that have been made, and you allow this letter of credit to be reduced, then it actually begins the warranty period. So that's what they're asking for, is to have that development go into the warranty period and reduce the letter of credit.
Okay. Everybody can read that, what we got.
I see what Craig sent back to him. He says Craig does recommend that the letter of credit be reduced to the warranty amount if the erosion control items are completed. So.
And then the very top of that email is from Jason Rood, who is a surveyor. And they are saying that all that is done, and I didn't include it in your packets here, but there's actually the drawings of the improvements, the new drawings of how the retention pond is shaped.
Okay.
And that was one of the requirements, is that the as-built information is submitted, and that was submitted by the engineer or by the surveyor.
Okay, so from Craig says, yes, I recommend that the LOC be reduced warranty amount if erosion control items are completed. Do we know the
Yes.
erosion control
Yes,
is completed?
and then Jason, the surveyor, has confirmed it. The engineer came out and looked at it, but then they needed the drawings, and Jason, the surveyor, submitted those
Okay,
drawings
on
that
the
they are
original
completed.
as-built.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Okay,
So I think the board could feasibly recommend that the warranty period begins,
Okay.
warranty phase, they call it, of the developer's agreement, and letters of credit be reduced to the 25% retainage.
Make a motion to what she just said, because she pitched a lot of stuff in there at one time and I can't remember all of it to recite it all.
I'll second it. Okay,
All I know is we're cutting to 75%.
any more discussion? All right, all in favor of said motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? No one, motion carries.
Pam, you gotta make them shorter. I can't remember that long of a string. Thank you.
Number 11, voting operation technology and election resource account agreement.
Trying to get down there. There it is.
Yeah, that one too.
Okay, so the state of Minnesota gave Vanoka County a bunch of money for elections. And Linwood Township would be entitled to $553 of that.
You say 553.
I put
Yep.
that number in here.
I want the 67,239.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what the county got. Missing a page.
$553.95.
That's it. You found it.
For qualified expenditure.
So the township can either get that money from the county and put it towards our election expenses. What this agreement does is it says the county can keep the money and put it towards our joint powers agreement. We have a joint powers agreement with Anoka County for the election equipment that is bought and replaced on schedules and stuff. And so it would just go off of that. I believe that amount is around $1,700 a year. So it would just reduce this year's payment that 553 that we'd be entitled to. Our other option is to ask for the money, but then we are responsible for all the record keeping and reporting. Where if Anoka County does it, it's all on them.
I think it sounds easy to let them have it. Let them take care of it and. Yep.
Sure.
Need a motion on that?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to allow Anoka County to keep the 553.95 for our election JPA.
Second.
Any more discussion? Okay, all in favor of said motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Yeah, no opposals, motion carries. How far away are you from starting elections?
I'm far behind.
Are you?
I need to be hiring.
Wow.
So we will start elections. You brought it up. We'll start elections in January.
Good. Awesome. Okay,
And you're gonna be an election judge?
you want me to?
If you're not on the ballot, you can be an election.
I can.
judge.
Okay, number 12, proclamation resolution 2023-32. Whereas the residents of Linwood Township have great respect, admiration, and utmost gratitude for men and women who selflessly served our country and this community in the armed forces, and whereas the contributions and sacrifices of those who served in the armed forces have been vital in maintaining the freedom and way of life enjoyed by our citizens, and whereas Linwood Township appreciates their sacrifice of our United States military personnel and believes specific recognition should be granted. Therefore, let it be resolved that Linwood Township encourage its citizens in patriotic tradition to recognize the importance of honoring all those who made immeasurable sacrifices to preserve freedom by displaying green lights in a window of their place of business or residence from November 6th through November 12th, 2023. Hopefully adopted this day, 24th of October, 2023. I will make a motion to approve resolution 2023-32.
One second.
All in favor of said motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Yes, I'd like to send this to the website and maybe send out a note to some of our businesses
Okay, awesome.
to participate. The staff's been very actively participating in the Purple Lights campaign. We even got recognized by Anoka County. They've got a
Nice.
picture of our
Nice.
sign out front with the purple on it and the flag in the background. And so, like I say, it's been a real good team building thing for the staff to participate in. So this would be one. And then Sarah with the History Committee is also planning on Friday, November 10th from 10 to 11:30, a brunch for veterans and their families. So again, it's a way that staff can recognize some of this, but I think it's really good for the community to recognize
You're right.
the veterans.
You are correct. Okay, consent agenda number 13. I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Any discussion on it?
Just in the bills with what we approved tonight. Is there another check to be cut for background checks? I only see 3 here.
The fourth one is on the,
Um,
on a separate page.
okay.
But it's in the same agenda? Okay. Okay, we had a second, right?
Yep.
Okay, all in favor of said motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Supervisor reports, I'm gonna go first. Last Thursday, I got a call from Chrissy at Forest Lake Schools. She said they are moving fast with the design of that sign down on the corner of 22 and Typo. And they will be getting a hold of our office by the end of this week to get a meeting with our office and the school to get design done so they can get the concrete in the ground yet this year.
Nice.
So evidently, whoever's feathers I ruffled actually did something. So I thank Chrissy with Forest Lake Schools. So
Very good.
Good job.
I'm excited.
Don.
that's why I wanted to go first. Who wants second? You or John?
Senator John.
John?
Me? Oh, let's see. Martin Lake Dam. We've been having a tough time getting our volunteers that were gonna do the steel work, to be able to move forward on it. The last one has, actually been, ill for a while, so, we're kind of looking at possibly moving forward with somebody else, looking at different options. So that'll be forthcoming. That's that one that we've got a $3,000 grant for that's got to be used before the end of the year. And with a $750 matching from the Martin Lakers Association. So that one I'll bring back more information later. But I am working with them on this. The design, I've told them the design has to be approved by this board since we own the dam. And if we're assuming the liability, we need to see what's going out there. So that's what'll come before the board, not the payment, but just the approval of the design. So, so we got the 2 dump trucks back, from Diesel Rocker. One of the trucks started to, display a check engine light on the way from Diesel Rocker here. And so they could not get it out. So I had them, go to a truck company and get it scanned, and it turns out that it is a bad NOx sensor, which is one of the DEF sensors in it. I won't go into what I'm going through right now with my own personal DEF issues with my truck, but it's very expensive. So we're getting a quote back from that company on what it's going to cost to fix it. The good thing is that they're willing to come here to fix it rather than us bringing it to wherever. So I think that'll be forthcoming in probably the next meeting.
And this is no way our guys could do? This is?
It's usually special tools and it's.
I
I did my own NOx sensors, and even after I was all done, I still had to bring it to a Chevy dealer, and it cost me $2,400 to fix it. So it would have been a lot cheaper for me to have just brought it to them.
Gonna give Supervisor Syrian gonna get concerned. You keep spending money, so.
Oh, I know. I felt like this was a really, really bad night for me to come.
I know it
because
is.
it's like I'm the bearer of bad news here for sure. So,
It's because we gave you that job.
yeah. Hey, you know what? There's still a lot of work to be done. So
Remember how
I
cheap
can
it was to
step
just spend
aside.
$2 to get on the board? How much is it now?
Yeah, good point. Good point. So as I understand, you know, supervisors have the ability to spend up to $1,000 individually or $2,500 for 2 to move forward on things. But when I went through this, when I was told this, when I first came on the board, I was also told that, you know, it's something that the other board members still have a right to understand where the money's being spent. So I personally, if you guys don't mind, when I approve, each time I'm going to come in here and give a quick update on it so that you guys know what's being spent. So to get that truck scanned today, I had approved Jeff to bring it down and approved $150 for that scan to do the diagnostics on it. We also had an issue. We had to replace a cover. I think it was a fuel tank cover or something like that on the loader. And so we had bought one, but it was too small. So Jack brought it back to Ziegler today and had to pay, I think it was like $233 for it. So there was an upcharge to go with the larger one. So I had approved him to go ahead and do that. So again, it's one of those things where I don't know about how you guys feel, but I think it's a privilege to be able to unilaterally spend taxpayer monies. And I think that for me, I'll show you respect by letting you know where I'm spending money. And hopefully this is something that we could maybe start making a practice of.
Good.
So that's all I've got.
Okay, Carol?
I don't have anything, but I like what you just said, John. I think that it is a privilege to spend the money, and I usually it is for things like that, which is quick, but it's not for, I don't think you're gonna pass it, so I'll do it. That's not for that kind of stuff. So thank you, John.
Yeah, thank you.
Andy?
Streaming the quote from the company to come do some of the updates. He just messaged me today. He's waiting on a few final numbers from when he was out here a couple weeks ago and looked at the system for evaluation. And then that brought up just the status of the attorney review on the retention policy for streaming. Do we have that back? From like the next steps to get to,
From the attorney?
yeah,
No, we don't have
Okay.
it back. No.
do we have an update or is anyone engaging?
Yeah, I can take the charge on that. It's no excuse. I just been tied up with trying to get this stuff done with the reuse building before we freezed up.
I can take
So-
it and
Yeah.
run with it. If you
Yeah, it's
want.
fine. I think, well, we had put together a list of questions. We just haven't actually mailed it or emailed it off to the attorney. The only two things that I think we had to add on there was a policy regarding closed meetings like we had at the last meeting. And there was one other small thing that was added in there. So I think we could probably get something off to the attorney. We got 3 weeks between now and the next meeting. And so I can definitely,
We can connect. And
yeah, if you want, absolutely. Yeah.
play it.
Okay, Michael?
No, I gave my spiel about the well earlier and I'm good to go.
Okay, good. Pam,
Oh, let me back up.
wait a minute.
I gotta
You said
back up.
Pam.
No, I do have something because when you said Pam, it reminded me of it. We do have an issue at a meeting with Pam today about security in the building, so. But it's just something we're gonna have to discuss later on that for upgrades, so.
Okay.
I'm done.
Okay, Pam?
I'm gonna chime in. I'm gonna have Daryl come up here quick. We need to just revisit and get an approval.
Okay.
Yeah, along with the candidates, is this on?
I think so.
Along with the candidates, we didn't put a price point on that approval. So the BCA is $15 per candidate, not to exceed $60. And then the physicals are $800 a piece. That price point is $3,200. So I'm not sure if you want to approve that, or is that a part of the initial approval?
We didn't have a dollar amount within the motion.
Okay, I'll
and-
make a motion to spend $3,260 for background checks and physicals for the 4 fire department candidates.
I'll second it.
All in favor of said motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, board.
So that the fourth check can go out though to not delay.
Correct, yeah,
Okay.
but because that other $1 amount is over the threshold, I mean, we need that dollar amount within.
It's already in the
motion.
book, that
So-
4th background check.
Correct, it's all in there, but I need the motion in order to spend the money to move forward with
Okay.
these physicals. Correct. So I
Okay.
wasn't. I've been prepping for the budget meeting on Thursday. Is there anything specifically out of the ordinary that's gonna get thrown at me that I could maybe prep for, that you're looking for an answer?
You're at 7?
6?
6.
7, okay. Change around on that.
Okay,
I mean, we're gonna have all department budgets, I guess, so it'd be the,
right,
and
correct.
then was there, and again, me not being at the beginning, was there budgetary plans presented with each budget in terms of like we're talking with the recycle building, the capital expenses, or we were planning to buy X and we haven't purchased that yet? Or, I mean, that'd be my expectation. Are we meeting the budget plan? I get where we're at with some of the budgetary.
I got a
dollar amounts.
lot of information, so,
Okay.
yes. Other than that, seeing you then, follow up on the parking lots. Craig did stop out on the 19th to look at the parking lots. He did contact the soil boring company just because he was looking for a little bit more information. He did get back to him today, but Craig is out of the office until the 24th today. That's what I got. So, and that's where I guess the updates. I did get an update on the parks borders. They should be here on the 30th.
Great.
That's it.
That's it? Okay, Pam?
No, I got more.
So is that just on that, though, is that coordinated with maintenance staff?
I just found out about it exactly 1 minute ago. They will be, I'll talk to them tomorrow.
Craig had sent his question to info at Kilo and they didn't get it. That's all I got.
What do you got, Pam?
Good news. I got an email. I asked for a final copy of the Sunrise Joint Powers Agreement, and I got that from Jamie today. Too late to get to you now, but it'll be at the next meeting to sign it. There was a really good memo in there about kind of commemorating what has happened in the last 2 years and how to avoid it in the future, and it's recommended that it gets filed with the Joint Powers Agreement so that future people looking at the Joint Powers Agreement don't go through this again. What were some of the concerns and how were they corrected? Some of the concerns were one of the entities wasn't getting the information properly. The remedy was to require that a supervisor or council member is one of the members on there. That's written into the Joint Powers Agreement, that they attend those meetings so that that information is truly being passed back and forth. I'll send all that out probably this week, just so you have time to take a look at it, because the Joint Powers Agreement, while there's not huge changes in the way it operates, I think it's worth your time to read through and really understand what all it involves. And I don't want to just send it with your next meeting packet because it's a fair amount of reading. I don't think I have a red line copy because there was so many changes here at the end. I don't think I have one from way back to the beginning, but and then also at the next meeting, we'll be ratifying the 2024 budget, which needs to be ratified by December.
Yeah, end of December.
Yep. So we're finally at that point. And again, there were concerns about the amount of time and money that was spent on this project, exceeding $20,000 when it logically should have been well under $10,000. Like I say, read the memo that went with it. I think it really does memorialize what, I think it'll be a good step to help future people. If somebody on any one of the boards or councils says, I think we need to revisit this, a lot of time was spent on this. So, again, kudos to the board for holding your ground. Unfortunately, we are back where we started. Other than the housekeeping items in there, the formula did not change. You stood your ground, the formula didn't change. They tried a lot of things. So, the other thing is, between yesterday and today, we onboarded the 2 new employees. I'm very, very well pleased with Susan Bouch, our new zoning and enforcement official. She's taking to the duties very well, and I'm very excited about that. And I really, other than saying hello to Julia in recycling, you spent more time.
I did stop back there and I had to go get the deposit. I did ask her how it's going. She said good. So it's work in
So-
progress.
She had a very busy day.
It was, the cars just kept flying back there.
Said it was insane, so.
So I think one thing that I have heard from that department is there needs to be breaks because it is so steady. I think they need to know that it's okay that the people maybe need to wait a little bit so that the employees can take a break. I mean, it can get pretty steady back there, and they need to know that it's okay from a supervisor, maybe just to say, look, split your breaks, and the people will wait. I know they try to move the people through as quickly as they can, but
We can get it set up with maintenance too, that maintenance goes back there at noon or something, or maintenance goes back there at 1 for 20 minutes or something.
like I say, even
help
there's
out.
2 of them back there. They should be able to juggle their
Well,
breaks.
they're busy. That's why if they could drag maintenance back there,
Yeah,
one
that
of them
was-
goes back.
Well,
there.
then you've reduced maintenance's efficiency. So
And there's nobody else working on Saturday, so
Oh,
we
wow.
still have to deal with it on Saturday. It's just one of those things. I have reinforced it over and over and over back there. That I don't care if they have to go down to a single lane coming in for a period of time, but they absolutely have to take breaks. So it's been pushed.
thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
Okay, before I drop the ball, because I know there's 3 weeks before this next meeting, I discussed the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency has approximately $1,065,000 available for the funding for next year. I just need the board's permission to apply for that because there's 25% of matching an in-kind service or cash.
I'll make a motion to allow her to apply for the grant.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor of said motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye,
I,
Aye, motion carries.
free money, free money.
Love that free money. Okay, anything else to come
those are
before
my
the
notes too.
board?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye,